Can you talk to us a little bit about now your journey, right? So, into your entrepreneurship and who you've become, and also meeting your wife as well. I think obviously having that feminine queen and that role beside you has helped, as I said, build that empire. And it's so, again, in the world we live in now, Black families, right? To see that, for people to see that, and you're documenting that, which is amazing. So can you talk to us about that journey, of your life?
Yeah, I think I've always had a entrepreneurship gene, although I didn't know that's what it was called back then when I was cutting yards or selling car incense at the car wash, trying to make a buck. And my ambitions were truly to just make enough money to go and buy hamburgers and like a jungle juice at the corner store, right? But because I started at such a young age, I really was all about figuring out how to make money. The next thing I did on my entrepreneurship journey from a young age was teaching myself how to cut hair. Shout out to my cousin Gus, who I messed up a few times in learning that trade, right? But I've always was doing that, and it came just from mirroring what I saw. My mother was a super entrepreneur. Our house was the candy house. We were always having garage sales, so I always saw her putting herself in a position to sell and to make extra money to take care of her kids. And so I've always had that in my genes, so to speak. But as I got older, I understood that for my imagination and the type of lifestyle that I was attracted to and the things that I wanted to do and accomplish and experience, I just knew very early on a 9 to 5 job wasn't going to do that for me. So I had aspirations in sports, like any other young Black kid in the projects. We think that we're all going to go to the NBA, and that's what's going to be our golden ticket to buy our mom a house and get us out the hood. And so I had those aspirations, and I went for it with all of my heart, but I came up short. And so the next thing, I go over to the second love, which was music, and get into the music industry very early on. Started out as a roadie on a tour with some really big artists, and having the opportunity just to be around and soak up that environment and that experience and travel. But then once that glimmer of hope or that door of opportunity opens, you slide in there. I was able to start writing on other records, adding my opinions. And then from there, I started getting publishing and then learning how to tinker and make my own production and just being around so many other influential people. And had a cousin that played for the Clippers for a good period of time as well. And so I was at every Clippers game for like 4 years straight. And during that time, I started cutting some of the guys' hair. And from cutting their hair, you get familiar with those guys. Having a marketing background educationally, I would figure out different brand deals that I can bring because I wanted to mimic some of the success that someone like Steve Stout in the music industry had with his success. And I became like a miniature Steve Stout. I will always be the person that's brokering opportunities and bringing partnerships together. And so I started to do that with NBA players and professional athletes and also other music artists.
My name is Sujiro Rubasha, the co-founder of the Rubasha Family Podcast. Now, I know you have a story to tell. I know you have a mission and vision that you obsess constantly about, and you're solving problems in the marketplace. So I want to sit down and get your story. I want to hear the real juice and authentic of who you are, because at the end of the day, people want to know about you. They care about you as a human being. So this is your chance to come on the Rubasha Family Podcast and be part of our Founder Series. We are hosting a Founder Series with entrepreneurs from all over the world who had an imagination to create their business. We want to know you, the person, and how you're solving problems in the marketplace. So if you want to get in touch, fill out our quiz. Now, the quiz is a way for us to qualify you to see if you can come on the show. We can really see how powerful your brand is, where you are, so we can have you as an industry expert to come and tell your story. Business and life is all about communication. How can you tell stories, and how can I sit down and ask you questions that are going to get to your soul? See you soon.
And created a management company. So I just had so many different layers and experiences, but it was all due to having that access. It was all in my proximity to be able to evolve into these particular roles that I was able to take on. But over the last 7 years, all those things were kind of put to the side as I kind of dove really heavily into public service in the political field and just really getting active in communities. I ran for mayor of Pasadena back in 2018. I made history getting the most votes ever out of a first-time candidate, came in third. And then obviously around that time, right afterwards, the lockdown, the shutdown happened all over the world, right? And we were severely impacted by that. But during that time, a lot of people were frustrated, including myself, with the leadership here in California. And there were a lot of people saying that, we would love to have someone run for governor. And then there was these little whispers in my ear, you should run, you should run, you should run. And I was like, no, I just lost my race. I don't want to run anymore. Because, having a sports background and being competitive, I felt like it was like a game, right? I just lost. And how am I eligible to run? And I just lost. But I realized very quickly the entertainment industry, sports industry, and political industry are all different when it comes to wins and losses, obviously. And so, I gave it a shot. And I became very publicly known as a gubernatorial candidate. During that time, I was able to gain so much valuable wisdom, create some great lasting relationships, and some new partnerships as well. I was came top 10 candidate in California, which is a huge feat out of 41 candidates. So it was a crazy experience. I ran for 2 years. But from there, if you look at the chapters afterwards, it has allowed me to kind of realign myself with some of the things I was doing beforehand, like getting back into the fashion world, getting back to being an authority when it comes to understanding the importance of communication, public speaking. Now I have online classes. Now I'm paid to publicly speak at certain places, deliver keynotes. And so I've basically monetized who I am as a personal brand, why I'm building my personal brand. But I did have a nice little boost by getting as many votes as I did in California, getting that type of notoriety and press. So at this point now, I just really pour into a lot of people, and I created my nonprofit to allow me to continue to give value to the future, which are the young people. And if I can kind of share my testimony and story and have others come and share as well, I feel like, it'll be a job well done in regards to legacy-wise.
Powerful.
Make sure you take the time to like, share, and subscribe. Go and hit the subscribe button so we can keep giving you guys content, so you guys can be notified as soon as we drop some news and information that's really going to help you. And then another thing, guys, and by the way, subscribing, it doesn't cost any money, nothing, no dollars. Just go in there, hit the subscribe button. Again, Spotify, make sure you download our episodes on Spotify. We are exclusive to Spotify because we are getting that deal.
If you really enjoyed this video, make sure to click here, and I'm sure you're gonna love that one.